This is the Life at Park podcast, where Echo interviews a student from St. Louis Park High School regarding their experience at Park. We will touch on academics, athletics, clubs, extracurriculars, student life, and the culture at the high school. Through audio, we will affirm the uniqueness of being a student and build a stronger sense of community. The Life at Park podcast, episode 1, Lila Frank.
Hi, Lila. So the first set of questions we have are academic questions. So to start, what are your opinions on the start and the end time of the high school compared to the middle school and whatever elementary school you went to?
First of all, hi. Second of all, I like the times of the high school compared to the middle school because the middle school got out way later, like basically at 4 p.m. And with getting out at 3:15, it gives you just way more time after school, especially like in the winter times when it gets dark out so early. And I love taking like walks and jogs and all that, so it gives me way more time to do that before it gets dark out.
Do you think it is important to balance that life as a student, being a student, and also having your own personal time?
I do. I think it's really important, like, to be able to have that and balance schoolwork with like personal enjoyment and everything, and just getting out later. It just feels like you have so much less time for yourself.
Okay. Do you think that Park is preparing you for a life following high school?
I do. I think I learned not only academically here, but socially as well, and I think it's a good experience just like moving forward. Like, I feel like I'm learning a lot, and also I have two sisters who graduated from Park who are now in college, and they've seemed to like adapt really well to everything. So
How do you view the academics at Park?
I love the academics at Park. I love that there's a lot of like elective options. I've tried out a lot of the electives that I don't know if I would have ever like pursued if they weren't options. Like last year I tried out woodworking, I've done intro to marketing, computer science, and next semester I'll be doing engineering too. So it's nice to be able to like try out a lot of new things. And for the academics themselves, I love that there's different class levels because it lets you have a lot of like choice.
In consideration of the classes you've taken, what classes do you recommend?
I recommend AP Euro. It's one of my favorite classes I've taken. I'm currently in it right now, and I love it. I love the class itself and the lectures. I have Miss Emma, and she's a very good teacher, and I just feel like I learn a lot, and I also like am very interested in the things we're learning, and it's fun with friends. I don't mind studying because I find it entertaining, so it's just a great class.
For sure. Thank you for answering those. Next up, we've got questions about your personal experience at Park. And to start, how do you feel about the culture at Park?
Park is great because I think there's a lot of diversity with like the students and also just interests, like hobbies. Like you can really find your people, I think, because there's a big variety of people here.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think it's easier to make friends when there's a lot of different variety in the students.
What is your favorite memory from being at Park?
I have a lot, but I just have a lot of memories of like meeting new people and just hanging out with my friends. I loved, like, when I think about my classes last year, my civics class was very fun. Just hanging out with friends, like in class and meeting new people, and lunch is a lot of time for good memories.
So this is more of a difficult question, but it's what would you change about Park? So this can relate to the academics, the athletics, the cultures, what is available to students. You could even talk about construction and the maintenance of our school, just whatever you'd like to touch on.
The construction is interesting because it's not the most convenient right now with eating in the cafeteria, but ultimately I think it's a good thing to like improve the schools. And for the school itself, I think it does a really good job of offering lots of like options for, like I said, classes, and I love that, but I think there's always room for like more and more like customization and schedules and classes and that.
Yeah. I mean, this is a tough question to answer, but what career do you see yourself going into after high school, and would you say Park is facilitating that interest?
I think Park is really good for that because I am not quite sure, but I was considering computer science because I've always loved like computers and stuff. But after taking the class, like it was so great to take the class and like learn about just like what computer science entails and all that stuff. So after taking the class, it was good to like see how much I liked it and all of that, try new things. Like I'm in marketing currently, and that's good to like try out new options. So I think it does a really good job.
Yeah. I know you said your sisters went here. Would you say, do you know of anything that's no longer a part of Park this year that you'd like to like bring back, maybe from last year or your siblings' years?
I feel like there definitely is certain things. I'm not sure. My sisters, when they went here, there was a lot of like clubs that I know are no longer available. I'm not sure.
I mean, it sounds like you have a pretty good schedule currently.
Yeah, I really like my classes. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there is things, but
What are your thoughts on the new like Wednesday schedule with the taking out of Action Wednesday?
yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, that's definitely something I forgot about. I love Action Wednesday. We had it last year. I know when my sister went here, they had like Action Thursday, which I think is just the same thing. But that is a good point. That's probably what I would say. Action Wednesday. I think it was a really just like fun thing for the students because you got to like kind of either challenge your academics more or like hang out with your friends, do something you're interested in. So I would love to see that come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that like an unpopular opinion, would you guys say? Or? I don't
I would have to agree personally. I do miss Action Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. And what about Action Wednesday did you love? I know you already touched on this, but like, why do you want it to be brought back in Park? Like, what effect did you see it having on students?
Well, for me personally, I would always do the cardio room Action Wednesday, which I loved because there's like no student access to the cardio room unless you're in a sport that's using it. And I have my own issues with that because not every student has access to like a gym or workout equipment at home. So I just wish, because there is strength and conditioning, but for the cardio room, I just wish it was more accessible. And that gave me a really good opportunity to use it. And as for other students, I just think it's like a really good opportunity because there's so many options, like for not only like math help and help with school itself, but just like hobbies and interests, and for meeting new people who may share those same interests.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, thank you. This is kind of different from what we've been asking you so far, but which cliques would you consider yourself to be a part of? If you seem to notice any cliques in the high school, that's kind of also a question.
Well, cliques in the high school, I feel like there's definitely a lot of friend groups and like people and like friend groups that are friends with each other, if that makes sense. But when it comes to like cliques, I just automatically think of like movies, and I just don't think our high school is really like that as much. Like there's different friend groups, but not each friend group is like has a labeled title or anything. So
that's an interesting take. Could you like elaborate on that? That's really
yeah. Well, one of my favorite movies actually is Mean Girls, the original one, and
yes, the original.
So when I hear cliques, I think of that, and obviously that's a very fictional movie. So our school is just not like that.
Would you say cliques, I mean, I guess in movies, but more specifically in Park, can be useful or harmful to students?
Yeah.
Like when you say cliques, you mean like friend groups?
Yeah.
Overall, or like what the friend groups are known for, or having like a popularity,
not really
a social ranking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it can be harmful for some people, but I don't really personally notice that many cliques. Like I notice friend groups, but I've been lucky to like have good friends myself, so I don't know. That's a hard one.
Well, that's good. You don't associate people with like the things they're involved in. You just see them as
just
people.
That's
Exactly. That's very good. Thank you.
Okay. Are you involved in any sports or clubs at SLP?
Yes, I am a part of girls volleyball in the fall and then girls golf in the spring.
How long have you been playing both of those sports?
I actually started last year, which was exciting because I just always with sports I just really like trying new things. So it was nice that I had an opportunity to join both those sports last year, because sometimes you feel like, oh, maybe it's too late, maybe this, maybe that, but Park has always been so open and everyone was so like inclusive. So I'm going to do, or I did volleyball this year again, and then I'm probably going to do golf again this year too, so.
What was your favorite experience, or like what is the favorite memory of being on those athletic teams?
Well, I got to meet a lot of new people that I probably wouldn't have otherwise met, and it just is such a great opportunity for like new opportunities. Like I had never really participated in like sport tournaments before, and that's something really fun with like volleyball and golf meets. Like it's just so many new experiences and new people, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you could join any club or sport that you've seen at SLP, which would it be and why?
I've considered a lot of other sports personally. I was very interested in Nordic this year, but I was I was also late. When I decided I wanted to join, it was like a little bit late.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I would still consider it maybe for next year, but I just think it seems really cool. And then also I was thinking about doing track instead of golf last year, because track just seems fun because there's like a lot of different events instead of just like one sport.
Yeah. Like what attracts you to like a certain club or a certain sport? Like is it the people?
Is it
or
mentors,
the
that
experiences,
coaches?
I kind of feel like
activities?
it's the people for me. Like I had lots of friends who did volleyball, and plus my sister, like I grew up going to her volleyball tournaments all the time, so there was that. And then golf, like my friend was the captain. I had friends who I knew were doing it, so I feel like that was the main thing.
Yeah.
Community.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you could guess what your first impression of Park would be, what would you say that was?
Like Park High School.
Yeah, like your first idea of it, like when you like.
But after the middle
like your
school.
expectations and
Yeah.
then how they
Yeah.
were met, how they were not met.
I think they were pretty much met. The middle school, like the transition from elementary school to middle school, I remember being big because it was like a lot of new people and a lot of new classes. But I think middle school to high school was like a pretty easy transition for me because it seemed kind of familiar. Like it was a new building, and I definitely had to like figure out my way around the building. But like you still have the 7 classes, you still have mostly the same people. So I think when my first impression of St. Louis Park High School was just like a more mature version of the middle school.
Oh wow.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. When did you come to SLP? Or have you been going
Like,
to these
yeah,
schools your
like,
entire life?
yeah.
Just feel like your background.
I've been going to these schools my entire life because both my sisters went to PSI, and then we all went to the middle school, and yeah, so I've been knowing Park my whole life.
Yeah. Do you think you were excited to continue to further your education at the high school after going to the middle school?
I was really excited because there's just so many more opportunities at the high school than the middle school, and more freedom. So I was very excited about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And our final kind of section of questions we've got for you are just fun questions, so they're not all that serious. But our first one is, which character from a coming-of-age TV show or movie represents you and your experience at Park to the best of your ability to think?
That's a challenging question.
You can elaborate though.
I can, yeah. I love like movies and TV shows, especially ones that take place in high school. Like I grew up watching the Disney Channel, so very familiar. I don't know for myself. The first thing that comes to mind is Lizzie McGuire. I think she was actually in middle school, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but she had, this is a little random, but she had like a cartoon version of herself that would like,
Yeah.
like when something interesting would happen to her, the little cartoon version would kind of act that out. And sometimes if something interesting happens to me during the school day, I'll just like wish there was a cartoon version of myself to act it out.
Oh yeah.
That might be specific, but that just would be cool. And I loved Lizzie McGuire, so.
I love that. Sorry. Sorry. What's your go-to lunch to bring to school, and what's your like opinions on like the school lunches? Sorry, lunches.
The school lunches are actually, I think they're great. I don't get school lunch a lot, but there's certain stereotypes about school lunch. I think the high school lunches are like great. Everyone I've tried. I think I've had like a salad or two. Usually I bring my lunch, but every school lunch I've tried has been great. But when I bring my lunch, every single day I eat an apple and a granola bar. So I eat an apple every day.
Consistent,
so
yeah.
I like to get that out of the way at school.
Do you miss the hot lunches, or are you just genuinely fine with all the cold lunches in the gymnasium?
I'm not really the best person to ask because I never really got a lot of hot lunches. And I did also really like the hot lunches. Thank you, Matt. But every cold lunch I've had has been good. I know I mentioned the salad briefly, but I thought that was like a really good salad because when I picture school salad, I picture like a tiny bowl of like lettuce and like a tomato. But this was
classic high
school.
Right,
This was a great salad, so that just like sticks out to me.
Heard it here first. Good salads.
Yeah, good salads at SLP.
I mean, this is very specific to everyone, and if you like listen to music in the hallways, but if you do, or if you ever did, what was your favorite? Such a weird way to ask that. What's your favorite song to listen to in the hallways?
Oh, I love music and I love my AirPods. So that's a pretty good question for me. I love Taylor Swift music, but I always listen to Taylor Swift in the car. So when I get to school, I like to usually listen to Ariana Grande. I don't know, it's just what I do. I just put all her songs. I put all her songs on shuffle, but today I actually listened to Blake Shelton and it was pretty fun.
Oh,
so.
really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's interesting. Wouldn't know. Okay, what is your favorite class that you're either taking now or that you've taken?
Well, I talked about AP Euro, so trying to think of something else. I liked last year when I was a freshman and it was required for all freshmen to take gym, and I loved gym last year. I was never like the biggest gym class fan. Well, I did always like it, but gym last year was so fun. And I love AP Euro. I really have enjoyed like every elective I've taken. Yeah.
What about a class like makes you enjoy it? Is it like the teacher for you, or is it
Students, the curriculum,
coursework?
I guess it depends on like if I like the class academically. It's usually like only always based on the teacher, because even if it's like a very interesting topic, like I feel like the teacher can just make or break it. But a lot of my favorite classes have obviously been the ones with my friends and like just interesting people and so I guess it depends, but I think teachers are really important for like how you learn and how like a class like affects you, or because the curriculum can only do so much if it's like how it's taught to you.
Yeah,
that's true.
Going off of that, who is your favorite teacher at the moment? Or it can be just in general.
In general, well, I love Miss Emma, as I said. She's a very, very good teacher. She's also just a nice person, but as a teacher, I think she's really good. Like, she does lectures, and they're just great. I think I learn a lot from them. And I like a lot of the teachers I have. Both the gym teachers, or I think Mr. Keith left, but he was great. Donna, he was very nice. Corman. Senora Corman is nice. I like them all for the most part.
That's good.
Okay, last question. This is kind of weird, but be honest. What high school cliche are you? Are you a nerd, jock, cheerleader?
I really wanted to be a cheerleader. Oh, that would be a thing going back to adjunct school. I've always wanted to be a cheerleader. I think there's like been things like my sister said when they went here, like they would always like they would try to add cheerleaders, but I think that if we could get that going and that like stick, that would be great. So I wish I was a cheerleader.
What about it intrigues you?
Oh, I just love it. I love the uniforms. Yes, the uniforms are so cute, and you get to flip around. And see, I've always wanted to do pole vaulting as well, because the idea of just flipping around. The idea of just flipping around is like so fun. And cheerleading, you get to get all like cute, get your outfit. So, unfortunately, I'm not a cheerleader.
But that's how you would feel yourself if you were to be.
If I was in a high school movie like Mean Girls, I would want to be a cheerleader.
Perfect.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And that's it for this episode on The Life of
Our podcast.
Yeah, featuring Lila.
Thanks.
Frank. Sorry.